So yesterday was day 190 of protests in the city of Elizabeth City, North Carolina, and the county of Pasquotank County, North Carolina. And Woody showed up, hopefully to replace Sheriff Tommy Wooten yesterday, which was very nice of him. And again, we've been out here for 190 days around the sheriff's department, making our voices heard at the very least and our demands known. Yesterday was day 190, folks. I mean, it's a long time. It's a long time. And so we went around downtown Elizabeth City, on what was yesterday? Wednesday evening. We changed our demonstration times recently. Over the course of my absence, the demonstration times were changed from 6 p.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern time, of course, because we are in the Eastern time zone. And again, it's been 190 days since the Pasquotank County Sheriff's Department decided to run in on the back of a pickup truck into Elizabeth City and murder someone, shooting them in the back of the head as they were attempting to flee the incoming assassination. Again, nothing has been accomplished. They painted Black Lives Matter on the street, and they think that that's somehow... we painted Black Lives Matter on the street. All right. There was an incident last week where the Elizabeth City Police Department decided to brutalize an unarmed black person while they were, quote, under arrest. I don't really know what was going on there because I wasn't here at the time. But, so nothing has really changed. In fact, I take that back. Things have changed. It's gotten worse because the Pasquotank County commissioners decided to give the Pasquotank County Sheriff's Department a raise. Every single sheriff's deputy got an increase in their salary. That's their prize for assassinating Andrew Brown Jr. They got a prize. They got extra money for that. They were paid off. They also got an additional $69,000 to rebrand themselves as peace officers. Straight out of 1984. It's pretty fucked up. And so again, there has been change, but it's okay. They wrote Black Lives Matter on the street, so that means everything's fine now. Again, the Elizabeth City Police Department's chief, Eddie Buffalo, was nominated and appointed as the Public Defense Secretary for North Carolina by Democratic Governor Roy Cooper. So Eddie Buffalo let his police force brutalize people for 190 days. Eddie Buffalo personally witnessed a hit and run and then tried to convince us not to report it. Eddie Buffalo oversaw the use of tasers and Eddie Buffalo on protesters. Eddie Buffalo lied to the city council and the mayor and convince them to declare a state of emergency as an excuse to overspend and dip into emergency funds so he could give himself and his fellow officers a raise so that they could bus in and spend $500,000 busing in everyone from North Carolina and their child to brutalize and attack protesters, specifically elderly people. And he got appointed to be the Public Defense Secretary of North Carolina by a Democratic governor. That's what's happening here. Every single person in Elizabeth City that had a position of power used the assassination of Andrew Brown Jr. for their own personal gain, without a single exception. The mayor used it for her personal gain, initially saying that, the cops are good, they're going to help us. A week later, riot cops were cracking the heads of elderly preachers. Then she came out about 2 months later and said, things happened. We all made mistakes, etc., etc. Please vote for me next year. The Pasquotank County Board of Commissioners voted to give the Sheriff's Department a raise. They took advantage. They voted to rebrand them, and they're probably just going to pocket the money in that effort. Eddie Buffalo, the chief of police, did nothing to protect Elizabeth City. And now he got a promotion, and everyone under him is getting promotions. Deputy dumbfuck Jimmy Evans is probably lined up to be the next police chief. The guy who came out here and talked down to us for over 100 days in a row, saying our safety didn't matter, saying that name tags are not required, saying that law enforcement doesn't actually care about enforcing the laws. The Elizabeth City Police Department allowed a homicidal maniac screaming racial slurs out of her car to drive into the crowd as they were as their role was protecting the permitted protest zone. They demanded that we file permits for the protests. We did. And then their job was to protect us. And they just drove out of the way and let an angry Confederate, again, her Facebook page had Confederate iconography all over it. And her Facebook page was all about hating black people. She was screaming racial slurs out the window and drove into the crowd, hitting 3 people. She got her court case continued to next year. Hopefully, by next year, everyone will have forgotten her crime and she'll get off maybe with parole. Because that would be great, wouldn't it? Meanwhile, the assassins of Andrew Brown Jr. are going to Muddy Waters coffee shop every morning, get themselves a brew. This is what happens during these moments, and everyone's moving on. You'll notice we can't get that many people out for a protest these days. Everyone's moved on. Elizabeth City is okay with what happened. Everyone is satisfied as their behavior is shown here. Because that is the United States of America. Look at what happened when George Floyd was murdered. Is Minneapolis any better off? No. Look at what happened when Breonna Taylor was murdered in Kentucky. Is Louisville any better off? No. The same thing is happening here. There's a high-profile police assassination. Everyone pretends to be outraged. But then the people that are in power take advantage of the crisis. They profit off of it. They get their promotions. They write their books. And then they move on like nothing ever happened. And business is back to usual in Elizabeth City. This is the United States of America. This is why change doesn't happen. They wrote Black Lives Matter on the street. Well, I guess our job here is done. I'm sorry if I'm spending this segment being a little bit doom-pilled, but I mean, it's just disgusting. Like, everything that's happened in the last 190 days, disgusting. It's horrible. And everyone in Elizabeth City is just letting it happen. No one cares. The right wing, during this moment, developed a political action committee that they are getting national Republican funding from. And they are spreading the wealth among people, giving them fake jobs. You know, giving money to right-wing psychopaths to funnel the get out the vote effort so that Tommy Wooten remains as sheriff of Pasquotank County. But hey, they wrote Black Lives Matter on the street. That's cool. This is the United States of America, folks. No one cares. No one gives a shit. No one gives a fuck. No one gives a fuck. National media stopped caring. They covered this story like wildfire in the first 2 weeks. Oh, the riot cops are here. The savages are going to start breaking windows any minute now. That didn't happen, so they left. They don't care. All of 2020, national media was like, why aren't the rioters peaceful? Don't they know if they're peaceful like Martin Luther King Jr., if they're peaceful, then they're going to get what they want? Well, Elizabeth City showed. If you're peaceful, if you don't break windows, if you don't burn buildings down, nothing happens. And that's not to say that you should burn buildings down, because look at what happened in Minneapolis. Nothing. Nothing happens no matter what. Because the people are too busy fighting each other. They're too busy arguing with each other. They're too busy hating each other to do anything about those in power. That's the United States of America. This shit fucking sucks. It sucks. These people are going to get off scot-free. They're going to collect their bonuses. They're going to collect their overtime. They're going to collect their raises. And then they're going to keep on keeping on and killing more people. brutalizing more people, beating the shit out of more people. But hey, there's a lot of murders in Elizabeth City, so they're supposed to be busy. Except they haven't solved a murder in God knows how long. They haven't done jack fuck all, the Elizabeth City Police Department. All it is collecting paychecks to feel like you have big dick energy while you fucking hold your vest like this and you patrol the neighborhood and talk down to people. That's why they became police officers. They're all garbage. They're all trash. And everyone letting them just parade around and doing nothing about it. This country is in fucking ruins. I mean, I'm sorry. I don't mean to be depressed. I hate to be this person. I really do. But, I mean, this is the playbook. They all take advantage of the crisis, get protesters to hate each other, get them to argue with each other. That's what the permits did. Remember when they did, oh, you gotta file permits. Well, a lot of people didn't like that, so they went home. It's not like, oh, they didn't like that, so they decided to protest even harder. Nah, they just went home. Filing bogus charges on protesters to get them to stay home worked. Propagating gossip and rumors about everyone, from organizers to random protesters to all that, worked. Everyone got mad at each other, didn't agree on anything, and stayed home. And now Eddie Buffalo is the Public Safety Secretary of North Carolina. I hope everyone's happy. I'm so sick of it. I'm so fucking sick of it. Watching all of this happen in real time, seeing how these on-the-ground protests happen, how they start, how they continue with energy, and how they burn out is depressing. Knowing ahead of time that all of this would happen, and then trying my best to vaccinate the population against this kind of shit, and it didn't work. I mean, I don't want to, I'm not airing dirty laundry here too much, but I mean, like, Jesus Christ. Cops are really good at their jobs, and it's not because they're trained. It's just that they give a shit about protecting themselves. They care a little bit more about everyone else, about self-protection, and they easily dismantled this movement. It's horrifying to watch all of this unfold, knowing that nothing is going to happen. Oh, they're peace officers now? Right, okay. And guess what? The guy challenging Tommy Wooten for sheriff, Eddie Graham, this guy's a fucking load of shit. He's garbage. At his announcement speech, he didn't even talk about Tommy Wooten. And when asked if he would fire the 7 assassins of Andrew Brown Jr., he said no. So, okay, we're supposed to vote Tommy Wooten out to get this dumb fuck motherfucker in, another cop who said that he wouldn't even fire the people who killed Andrew Brown Jr.? What's the point? Why even bother? It's because this fucking town sucks. Elizabeth City is garbage. Pasquotank County is trash. Shit in my shoes. Half the population are racist motherfuckers. And they control everything. And that leaves the other half. And people are too busy with their lives, with their jobs, and they're too busy hating each other and gossiping and doing all this stupid shit to do anything at all. It's sad. It's depressing. And the best hope we got is Eddie fucking Graham, who said that he wouldn't even fire the assassins of Andrew Brown Jr. The whole point of the protesting that has happened for 190 days straight the main demand is to send these people to have any accountability whatsoever, and the only person running against Tommy Wooten is like, nah. Why? Because they're a cop too. And cops protect their own. He can't even lie about it. He can't even tell Robert Morgan and the rest of those motherfuckers behind closed doors, hey, I'm going to say I want to fire you, but don't worry, I got you. I'm just saying this so I can get elected. Nah, he's not even going to do that. That's how fucking useless he is. The whole fucking thing. Everything sucks. I was like feeling really good. Everyone was feeling really good in the first month, in the first second month about this movement. But the cops won. The city council won. The county commissioners won. And they knew they were going to win the whole time. And that's why they talked down to you the whole time. That's why they were laughing at you the whole time. Because they knew that this whole movement would burn out in just a couple months. And they're going to get their raises. They're going to get their overtime. They're going to make sure that their kids got a great birthday coming up because they made triple their wages sitting in their cars, watching us say all cops are bastards in their air-conditioned car in the summer. They knew that they were collecting overtime. I remember seeing officers being drunk on the job, eating fast food in their cars while they were supposed to be protecting demonstrators. They knew the whole time. They're just collecting a paycheck. They're looking at fucking YouTube on their phone, making overtime, and now they're going to buy their fucking fiance a new hot tub. And everyone fucking went along with it. And it makes me depressed. I don't know.